The Tell Me Lies finale is finally here. And wow. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I was screaming at the end of this episode. The last 20 minutes, my jaw was on the ground. I was not expecting...
Took an unexpected turn.
I was not expecting any of this to happen.
No. Once again, spoiler alert, if you have not finished the entire first season, do not listen to this segment.
Do not listen.
Do not listen to this segment if you haven't finished. That's, I've learned my lesson one too many times.
But holy shit. Okay. I knew Steven was going to be the one driving. I felt like that was obvious. Steven was the one driving
that was already
the car.
discussed.
It was kind of discussed. He was in the car, whether he was driving, not driving. He was there. That was known. What really threw me for a loop was I didn't know this motherfucker Steven can get any worse.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he did. Mm-hmm. He got even worse. He went even lower than ever imaginable. Mm-hmm. Going to that party, being in that room with Diana, and walking out holding her hands while Lucy is standing at the end of the staircase.
His girlfriend.
His girlfriend. He
says they love each other.
He walked out of the room with his ex-girlfriend hand in hand in front of his new girlfriend.
Also,
and didn't speak to her.
An incredible risk, considering she knows the whole story of what happened, and they had that fight where it was like, oh, are you threatening me? Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like they know each other's secrets. So, like, how could they ever break up now? Because, like, if he was to scorn her, she could make his life, like, she could basically rat him out. I mean, she would also be ratting herself out, too. So, I guess they're kind of stuck in this together now. But he took that risk.
Wait, just to confirm, she didn't know that he was driving, right?
She knew he was in the car.
Yeah.
She knew he was in the car, but didn't know he was driving.
Yeah, which is very different.
But regardless, he ran away from the scene, so it's still.
And also, that was what I said this to Rhea. That was one of the things that I was like, a little further investigation, probably. That's like a teen show at its best, a teen drama show at its best, or whatever you want to call this. Like, not teen since it's very sexual, it's adult content, but. He just like moved her over. It's just, and if there was any police investigation, it was just like, oh no, she was driving clearly because that's the seat we found her in. There's a smash in the windshield on the passenger side.
Right. Also, no lick of blood on either of them.
Yeah, it's like
they couldn't throw any fake blood on either of them.
They made it seem like she like that. This is what I found kind of silly because it made it seem like she gets in the car and she's like, the seatbelt wasn't working on her side. So she couldn't put her seatbelt on. In that case, her head would have smashed into the windshield, which I think it did, or it looked like it did. Yeah. So then they just move her over. So what do they look at the car and they're like, oh, that head smash mark, maybe that was like a tree or like, it's crazy to me that they weren't like, wonder where this head smash on the passenger side of the windshield came from.
Wasn't much investigation on their part, but Steven continued to be the worst human being ever. But Lucy is also a piece of shit. But Steven is worse.
Fingerprints all over the car.
Steven is just an awful human being. But Lucy is also bad.
No, yeah,
nothing she has done is any better. I mean, it's not worse because the things Steven has done are worse. But she's not a good person. I was stunned. First of all, the shocking events of Steven walking down the stairs with Diana, Lucy standing there. Okay, what? I was screaming. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. He's not going to say anything. There's going to be she's not going to say anything. She's not going to go, what the fuck? She's just sitting there in silence.
Just crying.
Then her getting fucked up with Evan and them waking up butt ass naked next to each other. What?
I knew that when they cut to the camera of her laying in bed and she like wakes up and she like looks concerned, I was like, in my head, I was like, oh God, Evan's next to her.
No, I said, no, because she also, you could tell she wasn't wearing a shirt. I said, no, Evan's next to her, full booty shot from Evan. Yeah. And I just couldn't believe my eyes because Brie is the best character on the show because that was Lucy's best friend. Evan and Brie were really hitting it off. I mean, they do. They get married, so whatever. And then to cap it all off, I thought the worst has been done. At that point, I was like, wow, what a finale. Really a lot of twists and turns. Steven is engaged to Lucy's best friend from home. Yes. Where did they meet? Did they meet at a summer internship? How did they get to know each other? How did the best friend get on with this? My theory is that Steven found out. The friend group must have found out about Lucy and Evan at some point because Lucy makes a comment to Brie, I'm happy for you, right? To me, that means she knows. And then Steven, I think, must know, and he makes it his lifelong mission to get back at Lucy by dating and marrying her best friend because she hooked up with his best friend.
That's a good theory considering the way he reacted when hearing Diana had hooked up with Wrigley.
Right. And he could not get past the fact that Diana and Wrigley hooked up years before they were dating. So I think that because the look that he gives Lucy at the end, where he's just staring at her with that evil fucking face.
But he's like smiling.
And
he's like so happy.
He looks even creepier with his new hair.
So happy to see you.
No, but he's like smiling, staring, creepy, like, yup, I'm going to fucking ruin your life because I'm going to marry your best friend knowing what you did.
Former best friend.
I missed that part. I didn't realize who that was. The
You
friend.
didn't pick up that was Lydia?
But Lydia, like, I don't know.
After the phone call, she's like, "Oh, where are you gonna be this summer?" And Lydia's
I know.
And it was a good full circle moment there too of Lydia on the phone talking about the ex that was like a toxic guy for her, and she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got rid of him," like blah blah blah. And now she's with the most toxic of them all,
the worst guy on the planet. He's an awful human being. I said
it's also insane to me that. Clearly a lot of shit happens between 2008, which is the end of their freshman year, to 2015 when this engagement party is happening, and the fact that somehow in 2015 they're all still like at the same gathering blows my mind.
How are they all friends still? They're the worst friend group of all time.
Terrible friend group.
They are awful to each other. They are all pieces of shit. All of them besides Brie. Evan's a piece of shit too.
Yeah. So now they're just at their wedding, and it's like, oh, but she doesn't know.
Well, look,
no,
at
but
the end
it's
of the
8 years later, so I think that they know. I think that the whole friend group
7
knows
years
what
later,
happened.
so maybe like 2009, 2010, they found out about what happened.
I would assume
enough time passed
that Brie,
or maybe they just don't ever know.
I think that they were like, let's never speak of this again.
Well, I feel like
if you want to go along with the theme of the show. Tell me lies.
Tell me lies.
They may just lie about it forever.
But the way that Lucy said, I'm happy for you, right?
That seems suspect.
That was a little suspicious.
Yeah,
true.
And
it was the way she said it. Like she was
also,
like, "Why? I'm happy for you, right?"
And Brie's like, "Yeah," and Brie gave her a hesitant yes. It was something like she knows. And also, why would Steven date her and get engaged to her best fucking friend?
Yeah,
unless he had something. Because he would have just stayed with Diana.
We also clearly, I know I was kind of, when we were talking about this, I was like adamant about a second season. I was like, I think they'll wrap it up. Season 1, limited series, 1 book. No, they're going to make a second season. I
don't know how much more of this show I can take.
They ventured so far off from the book that like it's an entirely different shit. Like it's an entirely different story. Like this is loosely based. Like the characters have the same names and like there's the same loose concept, but so many things shifted and changed, and there's so many more characters and people are more important that hello, Drew, he's dead. What happened?
Yeah, he clearly died because they said, oh, Drew's birth, give him why don't you give him a break?
He's like,
Lucy?
Why don't you give him a break? It was Drew's birthday yesterday.
Why don't you give him a break, Lucy? It was Drew's birthday yesterday. Well, I don't know, because Wrigley's causing a ruckus and smashing dessert tables.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we're 7 years later, he's still coked up.
Right.
Drew's dead. Apparently, it seems.
Weirdly enough, Wrigley turned out to be like, besides the drug problem, the most stand-up out of the guys.
Do you think is Drew dead?
I think Drew's dead because he said give him a break. It was his brother's birthday yesterday.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
I think Drew's dead.
I'm trying to think if they hinted to anything else, or if so clearly, like you need a second season to explain what the hell happened there.
Maybe Drew
There's
killed
just
himself.
no explanation. I know, but you just we're just supposed to guess that,
right? I don't know. But
you also can't leave us with the whole Lydia thing and not expect there to be a.
Give me the answer of how Steven and Lydia got together. I think summer internship.
Yeah, there's got to be something.
I think they got together over the summer.
But he was going to do the.
They live in the same town.
With,
Diana.
So, but no, that's what we're saying. You got to. There's so many. There's years. I mean, we're missing years of life here. So it's like they could have.
He proposed to her.
They could have so many other There could be so many other seasons now of like what happened while they were still in college, post college.
I loved like after he walked out.
How'd you get back together with Max?
Evan came over to her and was like, I don't even think he could be that bad. Like,
right, and
he's
then
like,
Evan,
I'm even shocked by this.
And then Evan does. I knew something was fishy when she was like, just get drunk with me.
I know.
I was like, no,
I know.
no.
Evan had the crush on her first.
Right,
it was
right.
Just a tough,
no, don't get drunk together. What are you doing?
I know.
To their and he was just talking about how he missed Brie earlier. Listen,
It's
nobody
just, look,
goes lower than Steven. Nobody goes lower than that fucking guy Steven, because even
it's a show about bad people.
Right. Even if Steven was mad that Lucy hooked up with Evan, Steven still walked out of that party with Diana while he has a girl. Like,
fucking Arizona from Grey's Anatomy might be the best character on the show, and she cheated on her dying husband.
No, the
Lucy's mom.
The best character
is Brie.
The best character on the show is Brie.
No,
Brie is such a sweetheart.
It is Brie.
Number
it is
two
Brie.
bad. It's Steven, Lucy,
Yeah.
and then a drop off.
Right. I mean, the thing is, like, Pippa isn't even that bad.
No, but this is the thing. This is the whole premise
they're
of the.
still holding a secret.
This is the whole premise of the show. The whole premise of the story, and they're all liars. They're all lying liars who lie.
Fully criminals who, if he ever got caught, would be in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah, don't do anything to Brie in the next season. Please make her the only redeeming character. Listen, they're all tainted. Don't taint the one character that we like.
Yeah.
We need to have one likable character.
There has to be one likable character.
There has to be one.
Who actually has a moral compass.
Because these guys are crazy. They're the worst friend group of all time.
It is.
If you remove Steven out of that friend group, do you think it's like
none of that happens?
So, like, do you think he's just very toxic? You take him out, and then they're all good people?
Yes.
So it's
Steven,
like he's the cancer.
everybody connects to Steven.
Yes. If Steven...
He's such a bad
Steven's
guy.
the one. If Steven didn't do everything that he did, if he didn't treat Lucy that way, if there wasn't all that confusion, if Lucy didn't fall in love with him and have to defend him for all his antics, none of that would have happened.
If Steven just was one to get killed in the car crash, none of that would have happened.
Oh my God.
I mean...
Yeah,
that's true.
He should have.
Then there wouldn't have been any show.
Yeah. All I'm saying is
that's something you can't really process, because then there's literally no plot to the show.
He's just such a bad guy. But then you get fooled.
Point.
Then
that's
you get fooled, and he's so charming to Lucy.
How did he get home after that car accident? He walked like on the highway, like.
I don't think that they were that realistically. They weren't that far away.
Yeah, they did say
from
it was like
campus.
2 miles away or something.
Yeah, so like that's not a crazy walk, but
what are the odds that that's Drew who cuts him off, like, or who's?
It was all Steven's fault. None of it was Drew's fault.
But also, no, I'm not gonna say.
Poor Macy.
Yeah, Macy deserved better.
But that's just like never get in the car with someone.
I know, and Macy in the car was right before it happened. She had her moment of like, she's like, I think you're just a bad guy.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll show you how bad I am.
You know what is also crazy too? It's like if that didn't happen, Macy would have been able to go back to her friends and maybe told them what had happened, and Lucy and Steven would have never happened.
She tried to tell Lucy that she was with Steven in the cafeteria. She said, I want to, like, I haven't told anybody this. And then Lucy got a call from Steven.
Yeah.
And so Macy was never able to tell her that she had been talking to Steven.
And that he was just a lying
liar. Sack of shit.
Just nothing but lies out of that guy's mouth.
Steven DeMarco.
I know.
God.
He's got such a good... He's got such a good lying liar name.
I just couldn't.
Steven DeMarco. It is a hot guy name.
It is.
DeMarco?
I think Steven DeMarco is a hot guy.
Wait, how's he spell Steven? With a P or a V?
P. I think it's a
PH.
I just couldn't believe the last 20 minutes of this episode. Like, everything was getting worse. But it was a good finale.
I just said with a P or a V, maybe.
Oh.
Fran,
with a P or a V.
Get your head out of the gutter. Anyways, they're all horrible, but
they pulled me in.
They pulled me in
for another season.
I will watch the second season all because of this fucking crazy finale.
This is exactly what I thought when you were saying, these episodes are kind of getting to suck. I'm like, just wait. I feel like they're gonna hit us with the finale. That's gonna be like, oh, they got me.
No, you said that we were gonna hate the ending.
No, because I thought I didn't know where they were gonna take it. I thought like the way the book. I don't want to like if people still want to read the book, but if the way the book ended, I just thought that this finale was just going to be like kind of anticlimactic, because it's like it would have been about the car crash and like some other stuff and like the mom, but it wouldn't have been with all the other relationship shit. And so that was like, whoa.
Right. Just one crazy thing after the next, but there you have it.
They added all that in for extra dramatic effect.
I think I have to give it a rewatch. I don't think I was fully paying attention.
Sounds like it. You didn't even realize Lydia was Lydia.
You gotta watch the
And
finale again.
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see the part at all where they woke up in bed together.
What? So you just missed.
So when you told us, you were like, that finale sucked.
He texted me on the side. He texted me and said, "Tell me Lies finale was stupid."
You weren't paying any
attention.
attention.
Well, I was just like, it was so, because I think I like was doing something for that one part, and then when I looked back, it was just him like at the party, and I didn't know who that girl was. So I'm just like, so all this for he just like says hi to her.
No, you gotta watch it back. It was actually insane.
Although I did watch the patient finale, and I would just like to say that one I can say for sure was terrible.
I've been told by multiple people it was so awful that I actually am not even gonna go watch it. I also told you to tell me what happens.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to finish it, The Patient, because I've heard mixed. I've heard people say it was fantastic.
Have you guys ever heard of the show Gypsy on Netflix?
No.
It's Naomi Watts and Billy Crudup. I watched it, 1 season, pretty good.
No, never heard of it. I've been locked into Love Is Blind season 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's
one
good.
of the bookers just asked me if you guys were watching it. I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, we're both watching.
Oh, you are? Do you want?
Yeah, it's good.
We're both locked in. It's a good season.
It's already better than the last season.
We'll have to talk about it when it's all.
I like to see. I'm already. Yeah, I've caught up on all the episodes.
Right, I need to catch up on some, which I will be doing later.
Well, you got plenty of time because now the next batch don't come out until November 2nd. So.
Yes, I'm gonna catch up tonight.
There's a good batch, but this is a good group. I'm intrigued.
I'm
way locked in, way more locked in this season than I was season 2.
Me as well.